So this one is super interesting. It is a semi-play off of one of the topics that we talked about last week, and it's added to it. So, New Mexico man charged with attempted murder in shooting at protest over Spanish Conquistador statue. So, I'm not going to get too much into the details of the statue, but apparently it has caused some major issues locally where the local government planned to move this statue from one location to another, and the local sheriff or police chief had made a statement and said, this is going to cause problems, and they did it anyways. Well, apparently it caused problems, and I don't know the story behind that, with this just being a breaking update. It doesn't give all of those details, but there were two factions of people that were protesting this and unhappy with it, and some were happy with it, clearly. Well, a fight broke out in this, and there's a video of it. I wish I could show you guys, but I can't clip this in. But there's like 5 people trying to wrestle what looks like this gun from this guy, and he hops over a wall, pulls it out, and pop, shoots the guy that was trying to like hold him in a headlock. And this is in New Mexico. So they arrested this guy. They charged him with attempted murder. I don't know if that will stick. That could be an overcharge so that he accepts a plea of a lesser charge. I don't know. But what's interesting is one thing we just talked about. It was either last week or the week before. The New Mexico governor issued a ban on all firearms, on all guns. And New Mexico is an open carry state, and they essentially said, hey, we're no longer an open carry state for the next 30 days. Sorry, guys, this is just what we're doing. And before that even had gone on for a few days, we covered that topic, all right? Well, the ban went into effect on September 8th, and she is now claiming that she did it to get people talking about gun control, not actually to bring down crime or anything like that. Well, within 3 days, a federal judge blocked it with an emergency order. And that's one thing we were asking about. Like, I've never heard of this before, without getting too political here, because we're true crime. We aren't going to the political aspects, but guns are such such a big deal in crime and get used so often in a lot of the crime stories we tell that I found this super interesting. But so 3 days after she came out with that ban, a federal judge came in and blocked it with an emergency order. So next week, the conversation will continue with U.S. District Judge David Urias hearing arguments over whether the governor's public ban should remain blocked while the lawsuit against it plays out. They literally brought a lawsuit against that ban on firearms. And I also heard some people that had responded on that video that are locals there. Apparently, sheriffs, law enforcement, everybody was refusing to follow the ban.
Not surprised by that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not that surprised by it either. I found it super interesting, though, and we pondered that day, could that actually bring crime down? I think that when you have a governor that's trying to highlight gun control and trying to change things in their state or whatever, promoting like all this gun violence stories, we're seeing so much coming out of New Mexico right now. It's wild. And I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on it.
Sounds like it increased gun violence.
I mean, I would think so. I would think that, look, we've seen it time and time again where people do the opposite of whatever law enforcement, government is trying to control with the war on drugs and everything else. So I bet if you have a governor that comes out and says, hey, ban on all guns, we are an open carry state, but just kidding, and then you have law enforcement who's saying we're not following that, everybody's going to grab their gun, dude. everybody will, just to do it in response of them feeling like their rights are being trampled on.
I just also think that Americans are tired of their politicians not doing what they want them to do. Like, not giving us what we're asking for, like what we elected you to do. So, you know, if that state is an open carry state and enjoys that right, then just coming in and being like, all right, we're having a trial period of 30 days, no guns. Like, if most people there enjoy that right and use that right, then of course they're not going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah. And I do think that it could increase the crime without, like, touching on the politics, because I don't want to go down the politics. So I do think that could increase crime because of people wanting to carry that don't normally carry, you know?
Tensions will go up, for sure, like among the public that are upset with it.
Yeah,
like those
I mean, it
tensions
could.
will raise.
Yeah, I think it absolutely could. I just found it super interesting because we were wondering when we were talking about it, like, what is going to come of this? I've never heard of this before. Could this actually decrease gun violence, you know?
Yeah.
Because they were showing all kinds of crimes. I think we talked about 2 last week or the week before, and there's a couple more here. Could it actually decrease that? I don't know, but I do feel like the governor should manage this in the way that's acceptable for the people there. Otherwise, I do agree. I think it could increase it, not decrease it. So
yeah, I'm super curious. That would actually be a really interesting study, like to do something like that with an open carry state and make it not open carry for a trial period, and then see what happens.
As long as the people in the state are willing to do it, that's the big thing there.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just force people like, hey, I know I'm your elected governor and you guys love your guns, but I think it's going to decrease this, so I'm going to ban it. You know, that's I think it's too far, and I think a lot of the other people there did too. If you want to go through this, then go through the proper channels of getting people behind you, letting your people know what's going on, you know, in these situations, because ultimately the goal is to decrease crime rates. And I think everybody wants that.
Yeah.
There's not, even I bet criminals out there that have families, they probably want it, the crime rate decreased, you know what I mean? They don't want to worry about their loved ones getting hurt out there or getting caught by a stray bullet. But I do think it needs to go through the proper channels. So I'm curious what you guys think. There was a high comment rate on that initial video, so I'm hoping you guys give some more input here. I love the input from locals that are from that area and understand it even better than we do, that I can just understand from an article, you know. That's all I really have. So, yeah, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I want to know what people think about it too, like what the outcome of something like this could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,